Okay, so in this new video, we are going to do a more complex analysis, which is a moderation effect. And let me super quickly explain you what is this moderation effect. So imagine that we have already a relationship that know it works. Like from the previous regression, we know that there is a positive relationship between the use of belief systems and performance because it's significant and it is positive. So we already know that that relationship between X and Y is positive. But now we want to test if there is something that moderates that relationship. And what does moderate mean? Moderate means that there might be something that can strengthen or weaken that relationship. Let me give you a different example. So we know that the more exercise you do, the more your muscles grow. So if you do maybe 1 hour or more intensity, depends on how you measure, but in general, the more exercise will have a positive relationship with more muscle growth. So similar to this, when we already know our relationship and we want to see if something moderates that relationship, we can think about the variable of age, because depending on how old you are, that relationship of muscle and of exercise and growing muscle can be weaker or stronger. So the older you are, the weaker that relationship is. And the younger you are, the stronger that relationship is between more exercise and more muscle growth. So that is a moderation effect relationship. So that is what we want to test in here. We want to test if we already know belief systems have a positive effect on performance, but we want to check if uncertainty has a moderation effect on that. Is it that the more uncertainty makes the relationship stronger or weaker? That's what we want to test. So to do that, it's a bit more complex on how to do it. There are 3 steps, I will say, so I will go step by step and slow. So the first thing to do is to go to Analyze and then go to Descriptive Statistics. And you will have to select I already did it before, but you have to select the variables that you care about and the dependent variables. So it's basically your independent variables plus the moderation effect variable. So in this example, we have 4 independent variables, the variables that we care about, the 4 x's, and we have 1 moderation. So our 4 variables are belief systems, boundary systems, diagnostic systems, and interactive systems. And uncertainty is our moderation effect, the moderation variable. So in this descriptive table, you don't forget to click on Save Standardized Values, because for the model, it's better to use the standardized values rather than the normal values. Let's click OK, and I'll explain you what is that. We get the table of the descriptive statistics, but we don't care that much about that yet. What we care about is about this new variable that came up. That's what you had to click, because now SPSS calculated the standardized values of the 4 variables that you put in there. So the standardized value is something that starts in 0, so the average of that variable is 0. And if it is higher than the average, it will move towards positive, like in here, 0.1, 1 point blah, blah. That means it's a bit far from the average. In this one is close to the average, but a bit far to the left, and here is the same. So we do this because in a moderation effect, it's better to have the standardized values instead of the normal values, which in this case goes from 1 to 7. Maybe here is not a big deal, but if you have bigger numbers, it's much more complicated. So I always suggest to use the standardized values. So I think the video has gone a bit long, so I will stop in here after we created this, and we're still missing 2 more steps. In the next 2 videos, we will do the two more steps to finish the moderation effect analysis.